Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Zwift Community Live broadcast of the SCR Autumn Race Series, race number 8. We're out on the Volcano Climb Party again, actually after yesterday's Wahooligan Super League final. So it looks like we're going to be doing 2 laps of the Volcano Flat Course, followed up by a climb to the KOM to the top. So it's going to be interesting to see how things do play out today. Let's talk a little bit about the series, though, before we get into the racing. We got 142 to the start of the race. They are not staggered. No stagger to the starts. There are no power-ups allowed in this race as well. In the lead in the A category for the series so far with 4 races, 93 points. It is going to be 40 actually out there. Jeff Kuhnha with 67 points, 4 races in. It looks like in second place. And Gavin Dempster from Team Draft, 43 points, sitting in third place, climbing quickly. Followed quickly by Kim Little, the UK national champion, riding for Team Experimental, 43 points. Well, it is a close one actually there with also Breg Bergen coming from Norway. They're riding for the Vikings, and Les Jeffs just behind him with 31 points. So pretty close matchup there for the top 6 or so. We'll have to keep a close eye on those riders in the A category. In the B category, Pop Pearson, 6 races, 76 points. We'll just talk about the top 3 here. Krister Selstead and Jocko Storm is going to be your top 3 in the B category. We'll be following along with them a little as well. Hockengrass for first in the C category. Juanjo Ferez for second for the BRT team. And then it's going to be Michael Lesniewski from Team Poland there in the C category, currently holding down those top 3 places. D category, Team Poland with Thomas Zawodzki. Martin Dordvik, actually, he had a new FTP, he told me, actually, I believe it was last week. So solid results coming from him so far, sitting in second place, it looks like, in the D category, holding down 45 points. And Ars Palanis there from Z-Sun in third. So excited to see how things play out between all the categories. We are going to jump right on in to the racing. The A's on, actually all the riders are taking off. So let's go ahead and see how things do start from the get-go. Did I see a walker out there actually? Am I getting trolled on yesterday's comments on the walkers out on course? Team Draft showing up in full effect, perhaps, with somebody, unless somebody's last name is just Walker. That may be what's going on there. This is a huge group. I think there were well over 200 riders that had jumped into this race and up out of the saddle, actually, right from the get-go here. Let's go ahead and take a quick look over at zwiftpower.com. That's where we're following all the live results if you are interested in how we are going about keeping track of how many riders and where the riders are and what they're up to as far as their FTPs and their current wattages and all that kind of stuff. Besides what we see on the screen right here, all of the information that is going into the game is also being relayed to anybody who's opted into zwiftpower.com to keep track of the results. So you can watch along over there as well if you are looking to do so. So I believe we had over 300 racers, though, jump into this race today. I'm going to go ahead and see if I can count them all out. It doesn't look like I'm going to be able to do so real quickly here. But A category, though, let's go ahead and follow along with them. In the C category, we are going to have like an A-B stream and then a C-D category stream is what we're going to be trying to do here, or at least coverage that we'll be trying to do throughout the broadcast here, as I do have one avatar that did jump into the C category start as well. So we'll be looking to follow along with them, looking for the front end of that race. But this is the front of the A's that we're looking at here right now. It does look like Matt Johnson's showing up from ODZ. I believe he jumped in last week as well. We'll see if we can find Kim Little out there, as we do know he's trying to climb up in the ranks for the series. It looks like he did win, I believe, last year's series. Gavin Dempster will be watching out for him from Team Draft, and Jeff Kuhnha, 40 as well, watching out for them for the A category, and whether or not they've shown up on the day to try and hold down those top 4 positions is what we'll be looking for. In that B category, again, the names that we're looking at as P.A. Pearson, Krister Selstead, Jocko Storm, Eystein Lovold, and Matthew Halavatis. Those are the top 5 currently in the B category for these riders that are making their way through the underground. We do have a rider already on the attack, it looks like, and that's going to keep things interesting. Liking that for sure, as yesterday was a little bit more calm, but it is Kim Little, actually, letting himself be known right from the get-go in that UK National Championships kit here, riding for Team Experimental. Off the front here, Peter Anderson, that is Pierre is trying to follow things up from, is he upgraded actually? Is that the PA from the B category perhaps? I'll have to keep an eye out to see if that is the same rider. I did see a name here that everybody's going to be watching out for. Philip Diner is in the house, and that is definitely not a Vision Cycling bias or anything. That is just the simple fact that this is one of the strongest riders we've ever seen jump out on Zwift, and we have not seen him out on course very often as of lately. But I would definitely be watching out for him to snipe perhaps a win out here today. One of the strongest for sure when it comes to TTing away, as well as crazy attacks on the climb. So watch out for Diner later on in the race. Definitely going to be playing it smart. It looks like he is sitting in and not chasing down any of these early attacks. Just Chulewski's there coming out of Poland with Finger as well. Davis here from Team Experimental. We're trying to make the early break here and get away. These are in this group of 3 so far. Nordstrom following it up, 7.2 watts per kilogram. It looks definitely like early attacks in a stage race situation where a break is trying to form. It looks like they're not quite able to get away, but they are doing it correctly though. There's been some crazy wattages going right from the get-go to try and get the gap and then get some to come along with them. We'll have to see if this does end up with a situation with any counterattacks that do make this stick. I actually did not check and see if the double draft was on for the SCR race today. If anybody was able to see on the, I'm going to open up the event right now and see if we do see a double draft hashtag at all, and I do not believe it is, so it'll be a little bit different race today as well from the Wahhooligan yesterday, where the Wahhooligan race did have the double draft on board. So looking through some of the comments here, thanks everybody for tuning in that's hanging out over at the Facebook page as well as over at the Twitch and Mixer. Chats, we'll try and keep an eye on all the chats as much as we possibly can and respond to any of your questions, the comments as they do come through as usual. But it looks like they're not going to let us slow down on the commentary here. We do have Casey Shum in the race as well today. Firestone's out there along with, it is the man, the cake is a lie. Hodges is showing up on the day. KRT letting themselves be known. This is, again, absolutely loving as the season is kicking off here. Zwift Racing, all the big hitters are showing up day in and day out here. A couple of riders who did race a little bit yesterday still showing up here, but definitely a new batch as well that we're just out for the viewership, out in the viewership in the peanut gallery yesterday, making comments about what was happening with Team Draft and their walking up the climb yesterday. Not exactly sure what was happening there, but definitely we're not able to take down the W. They're not going to hear the end of it after all the brain coming from Mr. Leo there, as well as Barry. And I do see it out there, guys. Love to see it always, and love the comments there. Team Draft, one close to the heart for sure here. But JC now trying to get away. It doesn't look like it's going to be happening here. 100 RPMs or so, closed right on down. JK there as well out of Norway. Matt Johnson closing it down with the US of A. So Casey Shum is actually commenting over here over on the Facebook post while he's actually racing at the front end of the pack here. And something about no walking today, Casey Stum is saying, as he was part of the attack early on here out of the underwater over on Ocean Boulevard. That little 3% gradient was able to get a little bit of a gap, but was closed down immediately here, it looks like. So Matt Gardner cheering him on there as well. Go Martin SR, I'm hearing from Polanis here. So if you do want to get involved in the broadcast and cheer on your favorite racer, we'll be able to bring in your comments and whoever you'd like to cheer on. We'll also see if we can get a couple polls going on later on in the race to see what you guys think about the different things going on throughout the race. And we'll see if that does go. We'll see if you can get your voting correct on who's going to be winning or where the break might happen. We'll see if we can get some of that happening. Claudia, is that a little bit of a what is going on here with the Hear No Evil and the face palm? We'll have to see what's happening with that here. But Claudia, I thought you were going to race today. Didn't you say something about you were going to do a broadcasted race soon enough? Is Claudia out there racing right now while chatting away, and that's why she's doing a face palm, because she got dropped from the group? Maybe, I'm not sure, but good to see Claudia, as usual, hanging out in the broadcast here. Casey's multitasking with the best of them, as always. This guy, I think, has a similar setup to what we have, where you have a desk. For those of you who have never seen the studio, We'll have to give you an inside look at some point. Actually, I'll just link. Simon Schofield came here and video recorded what the studio looks like. And you'll see that my bike actually fits underneath where my keyboard goes. And I'm able to do all kinds of gaming and other kinds of things while Zwifting. And I think a few people have taken a similar build or bought the Wahoo desktop that you can just put a keyboard on. That always works as well. But we went a little further and just put a gigantic, I don't even know, what is this, kitchen cabinet top into the wall with beams underneath it. So it seems to work, though. All right, Kim Little here up toward the front, though. Enough about the studio. It's 7.8 watts per kilogram. He is definitely not allowing these riders to calm down at any points. That's the second attack off the front. Immediately as they went into Ocean Boulevard, into the underground, there was able to get away with a little bit of an attack. Now again, on this run into the Essies, they will not be hitting the Essies, but this is always a good spot to try and cause a little bit of a gap. Diner actually responding, thinking that maybe that would go somewhere. If Diner and Van Guyt are responding, it's definitely going to be a situation to be watching out for. But didn't go anywhere. Chmielewski now coming on through, and now the pack, with their speed, are going to come right on down into the old ruins, heading to the volcano. And as they go past Scotty the fountain with the Scotty statues here, looks like it's all going to be back together. Now, this is always a dangerous spot, though, out on course. The speeds are so incredibly high, and if you did not close it down immediately through that little undulation as you do leave Ocean Boulevard, you can find yourself in this spot as Kuvelaar is here out of the Netherlands. Off the back, 165 B sprint, 4.6 watts per kilogram. He's going to need 8 watts per kilogram to close this down. It'll be 10 seconds before they hit the bottom of this switchback here. And this might be all said and done for Kuvelaar. Now, if he's able to kick it up a little bit here as they make their way through this flat section, it will slow down a little bit. But as you can see, 36 miles per hour at the top of the screen there. They are doing a full 2 miles per hour faster than Kuvelaar. And this is going to keep on going out. And he's going to have to rely on the chase group to try and bring that back, or a slowing down of the pack up ahead. So another one bites the dust off the back. Always watch out for that section of the course. Now, it looks like Shum here playing it smart, though. 152 beats per minute. Cake is the lie on the back there as well. Van Guyt, it does look like a few of the big hitters. Not too concerned with this section of the course. JC back on the front. So we'll have to see if now for some reason I have completely lost all of the riders on my other feed, actually, for the C category. We'll have to see if perhaps we can speed up our avatar over there and see if we can find a few of those riders. I have a feeling it has nothing actually to do with the riders. They have something to do with the internet connection to that other feed there. We'll see if we can jump back in with them, and there they are. They are back out on course. I did just find them. We'll be able to jump into the C category and see how things are going toward the front end of that momentarily. We'll try and find a few of the riders that are leading the series as we do click around a little bit looking for the front end of the C's. They are not too far back, actually, from this front A group. Only maybe half a mile, maybe 1K or so from the front end of that A group. So definitely keeping things fast, being non-segregated race, being a race that is not stagger started, tends to keep the speeds extremely high amongst all of the categories here. So I do believe we are looking here at the C category. I will say Hackle here along with a few others toward the front. Jansen's is there. It looks like Hofflin. A lot of B riders mixing in amongst them. So the C category is able to hang on with those that are a little bit stronger than them. That's always in these mass start races. It is a way to kind of prove yourself and show whether or not you can hang on with the stronger riders. And this rider's throwing out a solid 5.2 watts per kilogram. We'll give him a ride on for his effort, but I have a feeling perhaps there's an upgrade in advance for that rider. But it's going to be Coughlin here from the C category. This seems to be the lead rider, I believe, in the C category, as R. Siemens is walking away with no heart rate monitor on at 5.2 watts per kilogram. So it looks like this is the situation. Not seeing too many of the names, though, that we were talking about there in the C category for the leaders in the series. We'll make sure to try and keep an eye out for a few of them, but it does look like it is mainly names that we did not mention early on as we were talking about the overall standings now. So back in with the A category, though, we'll keep eyes on this as it does develop here with the C's. Did see a little bit of attack there from Davis as well as Kim Little. Team Experimental showing up in force, as you can see. Casey Shum on the attack as well. Davis is there in the Team Experimental kit. and Kim Little. So there's definitely support today. Kim Little, last time we saw him race, was somewhat solo. So it looks like he has, gotten on the phone here and gotten Team Experimental to show up on the day. Davis has been solo in a couple of races as well recently. So now with 3 up from Team Experimental, they're going to be a threat on the day for sure. But it is going to be Gunvahar here out of from Team SZ. Coming out of Sweden, making the attack on the front, up in the 6 watts per kilogram. Chmielewski from Poland now coming through toward the front to try and take a little bit of pull at the front. It does look like it was able to break things off a little bit toward the back end of the pack here, as they did do that two-tier. There were a couple of attacks from Team Experimental, and here is the damage that is being done. Geldof here on Neo, it looks like here, right in the B category. Lead B rider, actually, coming out of Belgium. Walklet is there as well. Davies, and it looks like a Alex here, also out of Sweden. And they are going to be able to close things down just barely, it looks like. And then the real damage is going to be Heblik here. I mean, he is completely damaged, as you can see, just doing circles. Way too many watts were put out here, and he cannot find the road any longer. Wozniak's here now, along with Larson, trying to chase down the stutter step there, figuring out not even how to walk, but how to track stand just a little ways up there. It looks like up and out of the saddle, able to maybe close things down. Nope, going to just keeping on with that dance move. It's a sweet dance move there. We'll call it the stutter. Along 8-bar team out of Germany. It looks like Heblik here all over the place. This is almost kind of fun. And just so you guys know what this is, as he moonwalks away from us, this is actually usually a network connection. So Zwift is trying to find him and trying to place the avatar correctly, and every few seconds Zwift gets a signal back, and then it tries to place the avatar wherever it thinks it should be from the last power source that it got. So usually when there's a stutter in the network in some sort of way, it doesn't just drop out completely. You get a situation like this where it's trying to figure out where to put the rider. So just as a little bit of an insight to those who think that Zwift is, I've seen a lot of like, why is Zwift bugging out on me? And it's actually usually your network. Like almost 100% of the time, it's that your Zwift can't find you. It doesn't know where you are. You went into a black hole, but then like it gives you little blips, shining light, like it's trying to find those little blips out of the black hole, and trying to place you somewhere in the world. So that guy is freaking moonwalked over the tower. Exactly, dude. We got to put that on. We need some sound bites. We need to go back to old school Gara sound bites and some others. Maybe we'll get some Jesper sound bites in there as well, with some Rogers. Who does he think he is? Rogers. But we haven't seen Rogers in a while. If anybody spots him, make sure you know he's being talked about. We'll see if his ears are ringing a little bit here, and suddenly Rogers shows up to the broadcast. We found Nathan Gara out there. That is not what we're looking for, but it looks like here, front end of a chase group that's trying to bring back the A's and the B's. They were dropped off, it looks like, through the volcano, and this would be the second chase group out on course. Wozniak here, the first chase group with the Moonwalker here, Heblik, who did fix his internet, it looks like, a little bit, and we'll try and be getting back on terms with that chase group. It looks like it'll be a solid group of 4. With the German rider, and then Wozniak, Larson, as well as Lovedahl. 1.5 laps to go. 1.5 laps to go. And look at the heart rate here of Casey Shum. 4.8 watts per kilogram, 148 beats per minute, playing extremely smart at the back end of the pack here. Let's see if we can get a good helicopter view here of what exactly is going on in this group. A little bit of attack off the front there. Casey sitting at the back, and I believe one of his teammates is going off the front with those green Tron wheels, actually. So sitting in and allowing a counter perhaps there to take place from Davis, his teammate. Gunvar trying to close that down, 7 watts per kilogram, dragging the pack right back on up with him, but goes flying right on by 5.6 or so. But with the downhill coming up, not sure it's going to be going much of anywhere. But back into 6 watts per kilogram, does have a gap. It's out to that 10, 11 meters. No, there is no draft out of 5 meters. Floridian here now trying to close it down. A teammate of his though, maybe not the best tactic, goes right back into the pack here. Now up and out of the saddle, Matt Johnson trying to follow W Finger here. Finger going right on by 181 beats per minute. So definitely heart rates are starting to fly. Attack after attack like this may start to whittle away at the efforts from the riders that are in the pack. We'll have to see if somebody can make something happen. It seems like they're definitely more excited today on this section of the course than they were yesterday in the Wahhooligan, as we are seeing some big wattages here and a little bit of a gaps here, but nothing quite able to stick as we are looking at, as we go through the pack here. Looks like Casey Shum, who was sitting in for quite a while toward the back end with a counter after the downhill here. Smartest place to attack, taking all that speed from the back of the pack, going right on through with the draft and then kicking the 7 watts per kilogram. Immediately gets that 2 seconds on that S5 beta setup here. Fastest setup in game, actually, above the Tron bike for those beta users, because they do have that full dish wheel in the back there on that S5. Has been tested and shown on Zwift Insider to be the fastest bike in game. And looks like Rambo here not closing things down. They're going to allow him dangle out there, but with 3 seconds, 4.8 watts per kilogram. But Casey shuts it right on down. Perhaps the effort is not there today. Cedarholm here sitting in. It looks like JC is going to go to the front and then stop pedaling. So they are not super interested in a full-on chase. I think they believe it is going to be coming back after they saw Casey's wattage come right on down here. And Frank Deal with a little bit of chatter there with attack from the back. Team Experimento here. Let's go ahead and see some of the other chatter that's come through here, if there's anything interesting that you guys do have to say here. Marcin Krzwonos is saying the fight will start at the volcano. My type, Adam Piersga. Go Team PL. So it sounds like we should be watching out for Adam out on course here. And Marcin thinks that it's not going to go much of anywhere until we do hit the KOM. That is how things went down yesterday. We'll have to see, though. Might be some upsets here. There have been a lot of attacks early on, but we'll see if that is correct there as we do head toward the volcano. And Kim Little saying, not seen Rogers in the same room as Gren. Just saying, Kim Little is saying. So Rogers hasn't been around in a while, it looks like. And looking through some of the other comments here, lots of Team Experimental cheering, it looks like. Shum definitely riding a bike on his treadmill, Greg Leo is saying as well. Wait a second. Is this actually true? Is Shum broadcasting right now? That's the other thing I would wonder. I know he does have a Twitch channel as well as a Mixer channel. I'm going to go ahead and go through here and see if I'm actually checking out, and he is broadcasting right now, it looks like, over on Twitch. If you wanted to see his live situation here, I'm going to go ahead and throw this over in the I'm going to link this up actually right now in the broadcast over on Facebook. If you guys do want to check out one of the longest time streamers of Zwift, started shortly after I did, CS Tricks there. That is the live situation coming from Casey Shums over on Twitch. So go ahead and check that out. You'll be able to bring up both, if you can bring up both broadcasts, do so you can see the commentary right alongside the efforts there from Casey. And it looks like there was an attack here while I wasn't paying attention and paying way too much attention to the peanut gallery for just a moment. And it was able to cause about a 2-second gap here between some of the riders that were caught a little bit off guard. That would be W Finger here, it looks like. Sin Quantuno is who he's riding for. A Alex here coming right along with him on the wheel, sitting in and able to get a free ride back up to the pack. Johansson's there as well, and it looks like Fodor here off the back, 178 beats per minute. We'll give him a ride on, some encouragement. He's gonna have to throw down 7 watts per kilogram real quick, up and out of the saddle. Knows it's make it or break it at this point for him if he does not jump onto this pack right now. Looks like it's gonna be happening as he does find the cake's lie of a wheel there. Goes right on by. And looks like the pack is going to be all back together, because the only chase at this point is going to be the group that did fall off through the volcano last lap. 21 minutes in, it looks like nothing much has happened in the C category so far, or excuse me, in this A category so far as anybody of mention to be getting dropped off as of yet. Let's go ahead and take a quick look at the standings again for the series and see if anything serious is happening. I have not seen 40 out there today. I'm going to go ahead and click on his name, see if it does show him as in this event. And no, 40 is not out here today from what I can see, so maybe taking a little bit of a break from the racing, as he has 4 races in, but we are 8 races into the series. So taking a little bit of a break here, not even been involved in too many of the races since October 3rd, actually. So it looks like only racing on Nathan's birthday. So Jeff Kuna here then, also another rider that we are looking out for if he's in there today. Gavin Dempster also, I don't believe, has jumped into the race today. So a lot of points up for grabs from some of the top runners here in the races. No, Gavin is not out here either. So Kim Little having a huge opportunity here to jump up and over the top of some of these other riders with some serious points here. 25 points to the winner if Kim can take down the W today, but he's going to have his work cut out for him, as there is a serious pack out here today with some of the biggest hitters that we know of out on Zwift. You know, to mention here, I'm watching out for Van Geit. Casey Shum is out there, but I have a feeling Casey's out there riding in support of Kim Little. As we actually look through the pack here, I mean, Diner is going to be a threat from Vision Cycling. Not a threat, though, in the overalls for the series from what I can see. As we are looking through here, Matt Johnson perhaps, but when it comes to the climb, I think Johnson is more of a sprinter out there. Perhaps Firestone going to be one to watch out for. 7 seconds, actually. We missed the attack as we were looking through the series standings there. It looks like that did take place as they went through the marina, most likely with a full 7 seconds at this point. And this little uphill gradient, definitely a place to get some time. Going to take this left-hand turn, and then another uphill gradient if he's able to kick at all as he heads uphill there. May be able to distance himself to about 10 seconds. That's what he's going to need. 10 to 15 seconds that did you head into, Scotty, the Squirrel Fountains, and then down into the Sidewinders that head to the old ruins to the volcano there. Matt Johnson, knowing this is a threat, doesn't want to bring the pack with him, throws down 9 watts per kilogram. Kim Little, knowing this is a moment of truth for the race, they're up in 11 watts per kilogram, 149 beats per minute, so definitely plenty left in the tank for him as he's been sitting in for quite a while waiting for this moment. 2 seconds, they need to work together, keep the pace high, but no, 2.3 is not going to do it, but Johnson's, he's definitely going to be the one keeping the speed high. 4 seconds is the difference here. 35 miles per hour, 33 from the pack, so they are distancing themselves and 3 off the front. It's going to be Firestone, Johnson, and the UK national champion Kim Little for Team Experimental. And Team Experimental has done their work at this point. Davis and Shum sitting in. They're not going to pull at all. And knowing that they are amongst the pack here, the rest of the riders are going to have to be thinking about whether or not they want to work for Team Experimental to come right back on up, or if they're going to take a full-on attack approach. Now, here's the question. Will they keep the speeds high? That's what they need to do. 5, 6, 7 watts per kilogram right now, because here comes W. Finger along with JC. Davis sitting in, not wanting to take a pull. Experimental playing it smart and making everybody else do the work. 3 seconds though, and it doesn't look like it's gonna stick because the pack was definitely motivated to pull that back in, as you can see here. Looking at the riders here, well, it is going to flatten out here in just a second. If they can hold under that 3 seconds for just a little while longer, it's going to be all over for the pack, I think, unless they have some serious motivation. What is going to happen here? And now here comes the speed from the back. That is what it's all about. As you see the riders coming from the back, as they came down the hill, there's a ton of speed coming along with them. If they pull through the front and carry that speed, they may be able to close this down, but it's going to be all about power in just a moment. And this is the moment right here. As you can see, the last rider from the back that came down the hill with that speed, no longer any momentum. Now it's pure power. And Kim Little knows it. He sees it hasn't been closed down. 7 watts per kilogram on the front now. 3 seconds. That will stick if they're willing to work, and the riders behind do not. Now, Diner, knowing that he doesn't want anybody to go with him either, he knows it's the break that can stick. 9 watts per kilogram. Davis sees it as well. 8 watts per kilogram. This is a serious moment in the race. If they can make this stick, it will be a breakaway that will be able to work together with 6 riders, make things super exciting for the rest of the race as well, as the KOM is still in the distance, but they want to shed as many riders as possible, make it a heads-up race of 6 riders, and make sure that they can solidify those spots solidify at least those spots in the top 6, if not a top 3 on the podium. Diner now going right on by, 6 watts per kilogram, and he's got the power for sure, and we haven't seen him stick his nose in the wind at all today, so you know that he is definitely ready to gamble with this situation here. Now, McDonald, also knowing this is serious, now starts to kick, doesn't want to drag anybody with him. They're all doing it correctly if they do want this to stick here. Finger's been blown up, full on nuclear, going backwards. Davis is hanging on here. Now it's a 3-second gap. He's going to have to close it before they hit the top of the 2-tier here. Can he do it here? And now he's starting to pull the gap in, though, for the pack. 5 watts per kilogram, and now the work is being done. It's going to be a steady effort on the front, and this is how you close down gaps if you can, and you're willing to work. work, but here goes Firestone. Shum is there as well. He was able to go across. I missed it. 3-team experimental on the front now at this point. They're going to have to put in some serious work, though, to make this stick. Still 3 seconds back. Diner 7 watts per kilogram, as you can see. What an amazing race so far, making it so interesting. The riders are what definitely make these races, that's for sure. Little now sitting in on Diner's wheel. Now coming by, it's going to be Shum, trying to keep that speed as high as possible. Still 3 seconds now. Will there be continuance? That's what it's always about. We always say it. It is a meme around here, the continuance. Will it happen, though? 7 watts per kilogram on the downhill. Do not hold up if you want it to stick. That's what's going to have to happen. Johnson can't hold on. It's Shum and Diner off the front now. Kim Little just hanging on. Are they going to shut it down and allow Shum and Diner to get away? Because now it's strung out, and the elastic is not going to snap as well here if they allow anybody to attach onto the back here, and the whole group will get the benefit from just that few meters coming back in here, and it looks like it's shut down. They did everything they could. That was a full-on quarter of a lap, half a lap attacking situation, and the damage that was done will be found at the back here, though, as you do see. Paul was here, maybe the last one to be able to get back on terms, as the attack after attack after attack eventually was able to break a few off the back end that were not being as attentive or not fade climbing as well as they came into those positionings on that 2-tier into the volcano. Van Geit now find himself off the back here out of Belgium. Nordstrom's there as well. Dalebout WBR also a super strong rider, but it was just too much speed coming from Team Experimental, able to do a little bit of work, but was it too much for too little? Because they've got the KOM coming still. 5:30 to 6 minutes. Crazy climbs have been going on, and it's going to be all out mayhem. Was too much spent because they really threw a lot of chips at the table at that point. Diner now trying to keep things a little calmer, it looks like. You know, after all of those attacks, there is an opportunity maybe for the likes of KRT, maybe bring it all from Vikings, somebody else who was not involved there that was sitting in and just trusting that this was going to be closed down. Are there any other big hitters that could really try and make something happen? Larson, definitely a name I'd be watching out for, maybe for an attack at this point as they head into the last half a lap toward that KOM. What's it going to be, everybody? Let's go ahead and see if there's some opinions out here on what is going to happen in this race out here today. You know, who do you think is going to win? Who's your favorite rider out there? Is it going to be Diner? Is it going to be Team Experimental? Is it going to be somebody who's coming out of the woodwork here? Is it going to be Larson? Definitely with somebody. Cedarholm as well that's out there. I mean, Paul's from Race WBR. There's plenty of names here that have taken wins in the world of Zwift racing now. I think Kim Little, being last year's SCR Autumn and Winter Series, showed up a lot. Diamond was showing up as well a lot as well. You know, between those two, I would have to mark them as the favorites on the day and the ones that are maybe motivated to try and grab some series points out there, especially as Kim is climbing up into the top, top 3, if not top 2 overall after this race today. So let me know who you guys think is going to be looking for the W out there today, who you think is going to be winning on the day. We'll go ahead and bring your predictions in as we get closer to the finish line here. Victor Klinvik says, let us know, 5 watts per kilogram steady state riding. That's like almost like emptying the clip for me on the last kilometer there. Claudia saying that's nuts that they couldn't stay away. I know, Claudia, that was absolutely crazy. I thought for sure after those efforts that something was going to stick, and the group was able to close things down. Now, as we head into the final half a lap, this is tactical. This is extremely tactical here from Team Experimental. Casey Shum, I do not think that they're out there for the W for Casey. Now, he will take the win if they just let him get away altogether. But we'll have to see if that's gonna happen here. I have a feeling that it's going to be Casey forcing the group to make some solid efforts to close things down. Now, look at this. They don't want to. They know exactly what's going on here. They're thinking about Kim Little. They're thinking about Philip Diner. Pierza is in there as well from Team Poland there. We did get a prediction there from Team Poland in the chat saying that maybe watch out for Adam out there as well. They know McDonald is in this. I mean, there's a lot of heavy hitters in here still. And Casey's off the front saying, catch me if you can. Waste some energy, burn some matches. Looks like Casey doesn't have too many, though, to make things happen. Closed right on down as we are going to take a look here. He isn't looking too burnt, though. I'm looking at his feed right now at this point over on Twitch. And it does look like he's looking okay. Shaking his head a little bit. He's like, no, no, no. I see there's a little bit of a shake of the head there coming from Casey. So perhaps the energy has been burnt out and going to wait for the climb. There he goes past his teammate there from Team Experimental, Kim Little. Bring it out there coming from Vikings. I'd be watching out for him in the B category for the W for sure today, as he has been able to hang on with these front runners. Cake is Elias in there as well. I'd always be watching out for James Hodges. This man has been sitting in the entire race at the back end of this pack, not really putting down too many efforts. So I have a feeling that maybe the cake is definitely lying to everybody about what kind of power he's got reserved, and we may see something from this rider as we head into the final climb. Chmielewski now not wanting to wait for the climb. Now on a downhill attack, we've seen this time and time again. We're going to see the pack close this right on down most likely. 36 miles per hour coming from him. Davis here, 34 here. Well, this is looking pretty good at this point. 34 here. Davis now 33 miles per hour. It's all about speed, not just power. And with 4 seconds, he may be able to make the stick if he is able to hold down 5 to 5.5 watts per kilogram here. Kristen there coming from Team France, it looks like. Rider I'm not familiar with, actually, and we haven't seen a whole lot of them out on course so far. Sitting in 163 beats per minute. Let's go ahead and start looking through some of the past results for some of these riders, as we definitely want to know where things have been at for them as they head into this final half a lap. It's always nice to know what kind of results they've had as of recently. We were chatting about Larson out there. Frank Larson here, 182 races out on Zwift here. Was able to take a W in the WBR 2-lap story-aligned 8 race. That was back on October 21st, just 3 days ago. Took a W in the ZHR Masters Europe race, it looks like, as well. So I'll be watching out maybe for Frank Larson there. Looks like a pretty strong rider on the front end. Les Jeffs, we were chatting about him. Jeffs is still hanging out in and amongst the racers, I believe. And 61 years of age. Les Jeff did take a win in the SCR individual TT race at 4.4 watts per kilogram with a crazy average heart rate of 132 beats per minute. Watch out for Les Jeffs out there, as this rider at 61 years of age is absolutely fine. Mike Davis out there for Team Experimental. We've been chatting a lot about Team Experimental today. His recent results: 3rd place in the KISS Europe 100 kilometer race back on the 14th. Took a 5th place in the Wahooligans Super League race last week. His latest win has been on the WBR Innsbruck flat race back on September 25th and September 23rd. So Davis, there were some solid results in the last couple of weeks here. Took a second in the WBR 3 laps out on the jungle circuit as well. So looks like doing a little bit better in the sprint situation. So I'm not sure Davis is going to be able to hang on when things do head uphill. We'll have to wait and see how that ends up playing out here. Guinevere here now heading toward the front from Team SZ. We'll have to take a look at what's up with Guinevere. He has definitely been a little bit active toward the front end of the racing today. I'm not actually seeing his name, though, in the results. Oh, here we go. We do see him. He did have a Zada badge, actually, so good to see him out there with that Zada badge. Has been verified. Paul is here now, 8 watts per kilogram. Who's on the front, though, that's driving things? As we do look through, it is going to be Rungberg here, actually. This is a rider that we haven't seen sticking his nose in the wind either much. Diner sitting on his wheel, just making sure nothing goes anywhere just as of yet. Getting all of the draft, but also the good positioning. It's always being in that top 3 to 5 riders to make sure nobody goes anywhere too fast. We've always got that draft. We are seeing, it looks like, for Guinevere, it is on the 10th, there was a CVR race, individual TT series. SCR race series as well took a 4th and a 5th back on September 26th and the 19th. So is hunting down some points here with those top 5 results so far in that series. Looks like took a good break all the way through from March to September. So just getting back into some Zwift racing here. That is going to be Guinevere. And we'll have to see if he's able to pull off some solid results here with that win at 5.1 watts per kilogram in that CVR race, actually, back on the 10th. I'd be watching out for him to make a solid attack on that climb, perhaps, for this day. Now, Adam Piersga, this was a name also that did show up in the chat. I did see Team Poland out there cheering on their riders. So we'll have to see if, Adam, what kind of results has he had recently out on Zwift. I'm going to take a look and see. Perhaps, yeah, he is connected here. Team Poland has given the rights to the API, the backend API to ZwiftPower.com. EVR Asia took a second, actually, which is a very difficult race to win, actually. On the 7th WBR 50-kilometer race, a second place, took a win at a couple of one-lappers, and then won the EVR Asia as well in the third. So be watching out for Adam Piersga here from Team Poland. Nothing but podiums for him in the last, I want to say 7 A races that he's jumped into, actually. So watch out for this rider from Team Poland. We'll give him a ride on as they're about to head into the KOM here, riding that elite kit that Team Poland uses for their country colors, actually. So looking through if there's any attacks just as yet. Nobody going anywhere just as of yet. Is that I'm actually seeing out of Norway, is that an SK Rye kit? I did not actually notice until just now that there may be an SK Rider Cedarholm. It looks like hanging out in that kit with that purple bike here, 4.0 watts per kilogram. Watch out for the SK Rye, always super strong, usually from the world of the mountain biking. The SK Rye that we do see out on course. So we'll have to see if once they do head uphill, if the mountain biking legs do show up for the climb for Cedarholm here today, and if he's able to make any breaks happen as well. It is Magnus Cedarholm. Does not have SK Rye as a tag. They're out of Norway. 14 races total. Did take a win back in the 23rd in the mighty Chandra with Rowan King. It looks like, and then a 5th place in the CVR World Cup training race all the way back on February 15th. So just jumping back into Magnus, just jumping back into the racing out on Zwift as they do head toward the KOM finish. Again, this is an iconic KOM finish at the top of the volcano. It is about a 5.5 to 6, maybe a little over 6-minute climb at an all-out pace that these A's will do. We'll have to see how it does play out for the riders as they do head there. It has calmed way down. You know, we saw tons of attacks in the first two laps. They were looking to try and establish these breaks. Team Experimental had showed up and weren't playing around. Diner had followed some things up. We saw that amazing attack going to the volcano last lap. Nothing was able to stick, and now, as you can see, everyone is just saving up for the climb. They know it's going to be an all-out VO2 max effort to the top. What do you got? 5-6 minutes. Really, it's everything that the body can possibly handle for that kind of a climb. I mean, you are going to be completely maxed out. They all know the pain that is on the way at this point and are just trying to put things into reserves, because any energy wasted at this point is most likely you're not going to have enough time to bring that back, to get those stores back up. Probably taking a gel, probably taking a little sugar at this point, 40 minutes in, getting some water in, and prepping the body to get ready to do everything that they possibly can to be the first one across the line at the top, or just hang on for as long as they can for those that know that they are not climbers out on this course. Or David's here now, 3.3 watts per kilogram, making sure these position well as they do head into that precarious point out on course that we talk about each lap. That is the Scotty Squirrel Fountain. Seems very innocuous, seems like it doesn't really have too much of an impact, but definitely does because of the S-turns here as they do head down these switchbacks, some of the fastest points out on course for the Volcano Flat. Find yourself out the back, and next thing you know, the pack is absolutely gone if you do not hang onto those wheels. I have suffered from that in the past where I did not hang on correctly, and next thing I knew, it was game over. I think it was in the first or second lap of a 100K race, actually, and next thing I know, I just didn't pay attention. Somebody let a gap go and just could not close it down, and it was GG for the rest of the day. Almost solo riding, actually, for the rest of the day out there. I am seeing some people coming through with some setups, Zwift setups. If you do want to show the private messaging your Zwift setups, the best thing you can do if you want to show off your Zwift setup to the rest of the world on the broadcast, go ahead and tweet at us. So the best thing that you can do is tweet at us at Z Community Live, at Z Community Live. Here is the Twitter handle on my right, over, well, to you guys it's my left, but on my left here, at Z Community Live over on Twitter. If you go ahead and tweet that out, at Z Community Live. If you want to show us your Zwift setups, want to show us what's going on with a win that you got, or whatever it is, something that's related to the Zwift, you know, the broadcast, to your Zwifting, to your endeavors in the world of cycling, whatever it might be, or it's just a random picture that we're going to laugh at. Those are fun too. So meme us as well, and we'll go ahead and bring those on into the broadcast as they do come on through. We are getting a couple of cheering on for. Let us know who you think is going to win. We're about to hit that KOM. Come on, WBR. We're hearing from Jerno. Kim Little saying, just dropped the SIS toasted scone gel. Of course he did. Loved watching how it's done there from Sean. Sean, thanks a lot. I appreciate that. Yeah, we're definitely going to try and link that up as well. Team Poland, go, 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 coming from Josic there, as well as Adam, I think, is their hope on the day. This is the 2-tier now. They are heading into the volcano now, as they're going to do one shorter lap on the volcano's crit course that will get cut off as they do head toward the 2-tier downhill on the other side. And once they do that, they'll take a left-hand turn into the KOM finisher. Diner here with a little bit of attack on the front here. I don't think it's looking to really go anywhere, just making sure that he can slow climb, fade climb, as he makes his way toward the 2nd tier at the start finish line / crit lap banner up here now. Now heading to the front, it will be Bergen from the Vikings team, and then it is JC in that elite kit here. Watch out for the German rider, 187 beats per minute. Unfamiliar with him, definitely making himself known plenty at the front end of this race. Austin here from FSK. Be watching out for the FSK boys. I did see a couple of them in the race today and looking pretty strong on the day. Have not stuck their nose in the wind much as well. And there are going to be a lot of riders, it looks like, that have been fairly quiet on the day. That might be some dark horses. We've been chatting a lot about Team Experimental, Philip Diner as well from Vision, ODZ with Matt Johnson. But I have a feeling there may be a few riders that are like, you know what, we're going to show you who we are with FSK. We're going to show you what's up with Team Poland. We're going to show you what's up with SK Ride today. You know, as we definitely have a lot who have been flying under the radar here, I believe. McDonald is there as well. Watch out for him. Let's see if he can hang on to the top. About a half a lap to go before the attacks. Doesn't look like anything's really going down at this point. Oxenham in the house. And we're seeing Kim Little's letting us know that actually we're seeing Oxenham. Absolutely love to see super old school Zwifter hanging out here. And he's saying it's going to be Kim easy. The emojis don't come through. I wish they did, but he gave us a little bit of a hand gesture there as well. Sean Kuster's letting us know what his Zwift setup looks like, actually, as we are getting into the broadcast here. Thanks a lot for sending that on through, Sean. And it looks like two big fans there, the laptop, and it looks like a Jesper Anchor phone holder. But good to see that even Jasper can find his way into that Zwift setup over there as well. And now we're seeing Claudia. I have not seen any attacks from the climb before the climb just yet. I don't think anybody's going to go. It's been fairly chill. Jeff's maybe a little. No, there was a little bit of an attack off the front here, it looks like, for a moment, but I'm not sure it's the smartest idea. MJ is now going, it looks like. Michael Jordan's in the house at the 22.3 miles at this point. 2 seconds now, 419 watts. This is not really joking around, actually. So Claudia caught it out there. Was there going to be an attack? And it looks like it is happening here, as MJ's got 1 second, but 1 second's not going to matter. That's like nothing on this climb. He would have to gain a solid 10 and then still have about 6 watts per kilogram to the top here. So doesn't look like anything's going to be happening there. Daffy Williams is saying probably no attacks now. Won't gain more. Then a few seconds will be dead at the start of the climb. Absolutely true. Jonathan Pate's up in the house here saying, go Team Experimental. All the old school Zwifters are showing up on the day. So many Jarvis beta memories actually coming through here. Soxenham is here. Kim Little is in the race. We've got Jonathan Pate up in here, well known for his taking of the green jerseys out on Jarvis old school here. This is a pretty good, the most unreliable phone holder about the anchor. Absolutely loving it here. The Peanut Gallery having tons of fun with chat out here today as we head into this final KOM finish here. So it looks like as we head on the down here, it's going to be a left-hand turn in just a moment here. Diner now toward the front, setting himself up correctly. Christian Scrolls letting us know my floor is the best phone holder ever. Well, maybe not, but that's usually where it ends up. Christian, I can definitely relate on that one. That's usually where it ends up for, I think, all of us when we're trying to Zwift Swift with the phone as well. And then, or it just doesn't do anything because it's all full of sweat and you just can't get it to actually respond to you in any way whatsoever. It just breaks. All right, as we head up to KOM here we go. The early attacks, Team Experimental letting us know that, oh no, why, oh why, oh why, oh why, oh why. And then we saw Team Experimental. Let's go ahead and just hype it, even though it's not on the screen at the moment. There it is. We were able to find him just barely. And just so you guys know, I can tell you exactly why that happens. As you hit other sections of the course, some of them are a part of the same live world to your to the avatar you're looking at, right? So like certain parts, like you'll really notice this on London when you have riders that are showing up in your riders nearby. They're literally nearby on the other side of Trafalgar Square, and you click and you go to the other side of Trafalgar Square. So we were a part of the same live world to this rider in front of me at that moment, and I clicked, and there we go to the C's or the B's or whatever it is. So that's why, just so you know. But there goes Team Experimental. Kim, Little, Davis, and Shum. Very coordinated attack at the front end of this race, and the Socks and Ham might have been correct, as Little is on the front end at 6.2 watts per kilogram here. Shum followed up very closely, but Diner, knowing he does not want them to get away, kicks it into 8 watts per kilogram, now back down to 7 for just a moment, 183 beats per minute. But here comes Adam Piersgo. We were told by Team Poland, watch out for this rider coming right on through. Shum now 9 watts per kilogram real quick, making sure that doesn't go anywhere. The Vikings now trying to close this down right along with Matt Johnson. ODZ, it's going to be Pauls here just trying to claw his way back to the wheel of JC here, but Davis said and done. We said he was a sprinter, and it was true. Did his work. Main attack, launches riders on the front. The work is done. We'll give him a ride on, and we'll see if he can hang on with Firestone as he comes right on by. But still on the front, Diner now letting us know who the man of this race is, at least for the first half of the climb. Can he hang on to this to the finish line, though? That's going to be the question. One of the strongest we've ever seen in the world of Zwift racing. Now starting to break things apart here, and it looks like Jeffs here is closing it down at the 61 years of age for Team TFC with that new kit in game. But Bergen here now with the Vikings, 4.7 watts per kilogram. Diner now 9.3, trying to come back with a little bit more speed, 27 miles per hour. Can Team Experimental close this down? Casey Shum here going to put in the work here. It looks for Kim Little making his way in the front as it flattens out. Bring that speed right on up, especially where the draft actually matters. And Diner here 6.1, trying to keep the gap at this point. This is going to have to be everything he's got at 6 to 7 to the finish if he's going to hold off the likes of Shum and the rest of Team Experimental. Kim Little playing the card correctly here, sitting in as the GC contender for that team. Casey Shum disappears. What? His avatar just disappeared. Goes full on Halo router reset style and is gone. Casey Shum is gone. He literally just ghosted us off the front, and we don't know what happened to him. Look, where's his Twitch feed? You have to take a look here. He's still there on Twitch. I don't see what he sees. Everybody still, but I don't see Casey Shum. There he is. He's back at the back of the pack here. Found him again, but his avatar just went boop. Goodbye. It looks like he's all good to go now at this point, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. It looks like it's all back together at this point, though, with these riders. But Diner now, one last kick. It's not going to happen. Kim Little, one last ditch effort. He was trying to trust his teammate to try and make it happen, but it's 5 seconds. 8.5 watts per kilogram. Can the UK national champion close it down to the German legs of Diner? But Diner's got 7 watts per kilogram. Just is hanging in all day long, though. He's got 6.8 watts per kilogram. Will just be able to come by at 61, come flying by this rider. I'm not sure it's going to happen. And Diner sees 8 watts per kilogram behind him, knows that he has to hold on to at least 7 all the way through. Now 5.5, and it doesn't look like that was the last kick. We totally hyped it up at the wrong time, but Kim Little now fading, going backwards. Philip Diner has only Jeffs to deal with. Will it be Vision, or will it be L. Jeffs to take this down? Little is going to have to settle for third, or maybe more is going to go away from him after those attacks. Only 2 seconds. Johnson now, he tastes blood. It's in the water, and he knows that Kim Little is fading. The UK national champion tried to close it down, but it was too much from Diner, pulling Jeffs right along to the finish line. Absolutely crazy tactics here from Team Experimental, but was not able to pay off. Shum was not able to set up his rider at the perfect time, and Little did not have the attack. They let too much go out. He sat in for too long. Perhaps it should have been an attack through that flatter section on the KOM in order to close it down way early because there was just too much time given. 187 beats per minute, though, and here comes Jeffs here just killing it, going flying by. And, you know, at a certain point, I wonder if everything is correct there on the age and everything, or if we're just being trolled. But man, 61 years of age just flying by, some of the strongest that we've ever seen out on Zwift. Diner 5.9, one more kick to the line, 19 seconds, it's said and done. Philip Diner, Vision Cycling, the green wheels on the Tron bike, letting us know who is going to win SCR epic finish at the KOM here. Race number 8 in the series, throwing down for 25 points. Kim Little still got his work cut out for him, though. It's going to be all about what placing he gets. Currently sitting, I believe it's in 3rd place overall in the series. So he's definitely going to have to get the best placing that he possibly can. But Diner coming across the line there, taking down the W. Jeffs is there as well. Now Adam Piercer, though, letting us know Team Poland still in the house. Experimental off the back. Experimenting with losing on the day. What is going on? Everything is an upset today, and it's going to be Pierzga for 3rd place. A rider out of nowhere we've never seen before, at least in the broadcast. Amazing job for Team Poland, throwing down for 3rd, maybe 2nd, depending on if Jeffs actually has a Zada badge or not. We'll have to figure that out afterwards for the official results. Crazy racing out here. SCR, race number 8, epic KOM finish. Absolutely killing it. And it looks like Diner for W coming from Team Vision. And then it's going to be Pierzga, I believe, taking 2nd. Depends on Jeffs. We'll have to see where things are at with him. No offenses or anything out there. Just make sure that the Zadas is there with the badge if he was over the limits. A lot of times with these 5-minute efforts, the 6-minute efforts on the KOM, we get a little bit evening out on the badges and the verification. It's always good to get these courses. They always tend to show us where things are at with the verifications there. But we always like to give the benefit of the doubt there too, though. So Pierzga, man, nice job. 4th place, I do believe, did go to Kim Little. We'll have to wait and see if that is the correct placing. Kim, just too much, too late, though. It was quite an effort to close things down, but Diner had given a crazy effort to get away, got enough space between himself and the rest of the riders, and it was all said and done at that point. So let's see if I can grab the results here. They're not quite up here just yet. As soon as they are in, I'll be able to bring this on in from the live results I am seeing. Give me 1 second here, Everett. Philip Diner with the win, was able to grab a full 4 seconds, actually, over Les Jeffs. Adam Pierzga was able to take down that 3rd place, like we said. 2 seconds back was Johan Norekin-Nosen, actually, Team FSK. We did mention them earlier. Saw a result for them. Kim Little did end up in 5th. Let's see if we can find some of the B category riders. They probably have already crossed the... finish line at this point. So if we can jump back within them, we will do so. Apologies about our C feed. It actually has had a lot of trouble staying connected to the internet for some reason. So we've had constant dropouts over and over again on the C category feed. I did want to try and bring them in here today, but we were unable to do so. Let's go ahead and see what's going on with these B category riders, though, as I do believe we may have the finishers for the W here coming to the line momentarily. It's been a little while, though, since the finish of the A's, and a lot of the Bs most likely have already made their way across the line. We can watch a couple of the sprints, though, as they do come in, hype them up, and encourage them on as they go. Alfred here from the BRT team, actually. This looked like it may be a front end of this B category. 24s, you do see on the right-hand side here. We do not want to click on the 22s. They are the ones that are going to mess with us. Jay Storm here, Race WBR. Good to see him coming out of South Africa, actually. I do believe he's in the top spots, actually, for the series at this point. Let's go ahead and take a quick look here and see if I'm correct about that. But I believe that he is in the hunt for the series overall. And if I am correct about that, then we definitely want to check out this finish for, if not, then see him later. You'll see later. No, I'm just kidding. So, Jay Storm, yeah, Jocko Storm currently sitting in third overall for Race WBR in this series. And I'm not seeing anybody too far ahead of him. W Finger here with that last final attack to the line. Alex OIK is there as well. Only 22 seconds back. Jay Storm looks like he's going to be throwing down and grabbing a solid 25 points on the day, I believe. As I look through the results here, I did see Bring It All, actually, though. It did finish before him. So, and Bring It All is a B category rider. He did do a solid 3.7 watts per kilogram for the duration of the race. So within category limits. So Bring It All, it's going to be a second place for Jocko Storm. And I believe he's going to be throwing down for a solid 20 points on the day. Bettering his overall, though, in the series, as I do look through the series here, P.A. Pearson currently sitting with 6 races. Jocko Storm only with 3 races, though, and is going to be grabbing some solid points here on the day with that result of second place, though. So congratulations to him on second place. Nystrom here now as well with Alfred battling out to the line. It is going to be Alfred here with the 7.5 watts per kilogram BRT in the house. Sprinted it to the line. Going to get the better of Nystrom. Nystrom now battling it out, it looks like, as well with Blomqvist. And that is going to be the result there for your top 5 in the B category. Solid result all around for those riders there. But again, great job to the A's and the B category today, and it looks like for that, then one more time in the A category on the day, it was Philip Diner able to get away with that late attack on the about halfway up to the top of the KOM. Was able to stick it there and hold on to the gap that it did form. Casey Shum and the rest of Team Experimental tried to do the best they could to set up Kim Little for that attack, and that counter to the top was unable to do so. Ended up fading backwards then, and gave the door an opening to Adam Piersga from Team Poland there to take down that third place on the day. Les Jeff hanging on the wheel. Philip Diner followed the right horse and was able to hang on for second. Maybe going to get relegated. We'll have to see how that does play out. Johan Noreker Nosen there for fourth, and then it would be Kim Little fade back to fifth. Matt Johnson there. ODZ in the house, as well as my microphone is definitely in the house smashing my hand here. But Matt Johnson, Bragg Bergen, Casey Shum, Julian C., and then it will be Kurt Powell's Race WR. That is your top 10 rounding out there. In the B category, it was Jan Ivar Bring It All, followed up by Jocko Storm. Going to be getting some points on the day there to move up in the standings. Currently sitting in third. I think he's going to jump maybe in the second, even first. We'll have to see how it plays. Mike Alford, solid sprint away from Nystrom and Blomqvist to take down third place. Nystrom did get the better of Blomqvist, I believe, to the line there with fourth, and then fifth going to Jonathan Blomqvist. Solid result there for that B category. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in, everybody there on the Zwift Community Live broadcast today of the SCR Autumn Series. If you want to jump into any series that we are covering, we'll be doing the KISS race tomorrow, Europe. We are also doing SCR every week. We are doing the Zwift Riders Germany as well every Tuesday. There's a Autumn Series going on, and we are also, there's going to be a little bit of Swift Shrup, the later broadcast. I just had something come through for Tuesdays. We're going to look to partners with a community event, but as well as there's also some Zwift events it looks like that may be coming down the line here on Tuesdays as well. Can't give too much information about that, but be on the watch out for some big announcements with some big races that are going to be throwing down on Tuesdays as well. So let's take a quick look at the chat here before we do leave. Good race coverage, Nathan Garrett. Greg Leo, thanks a lot. Let me get back in with you next week. Sounds good, Greg. We'll definitely take a look at that. Zismansky's looking for some gold rush. I'm loving the comments here. We'll make sure to grab a couple of these before we go so I can hype Kim live. I don't know if that sounds like a good thing. So much fun, Casey Summer saying, and Szymanski saying the gold rush here. And wish I had fish eating nachos on Facebook. We could definitely record you or even go live with you eating fish nachos if you really want to, if that's your new animal emoji, fish nachos. I mean, that kind of makes sense for somebody who's walking. You can carry your nachos and eat them with Team Walking Draft. So it's Team Walking Draft looking pretty good here. Nathan with the tees. We're loving it. We need some women's races. Claudia, I'm with you. I'm with you. Let's have a chat away from the broadcast about when some women races are going to be throwing down with participation, I need a representative. All right, I need a representative, and maybe even get you into the broadcast. You're hanging out here anyways, Claudia. Maybe you could chat with us about the races right alongside us. We need some more women's presence up in here as well. So, all right, so many junctions. NYC looks great for Gold Rush. We're hearing from Daffod. I'd have to agree. I love how close things are in the courses there. Actually, if you haven't chatted, if you haven't listened to the Zwiftcast, the latest episode, make sure to check that out, zwiftcast.com. We had a lot of chatter on there about all things awesome, as well as a couple of feedback options there, too, for the NYC, which is an amazing course. I think it's the coolest course Zwift has released yet, actually, by far. So, all right, everybody, have a great evening or day wherever you're at out there in the world. Sean Kruger letting me know that he's over in Manitowoc. Shout out to Manitowoc, for sure. What is that area known for? Best known for right now in the world? Who can call it? What am I thinking about? I'll let you know later. I'll let you know later. All I can say is Netflix. All right, everybody. Great job to all the racers as always. Great job to all the racers as always. As always, for all the Zwifters out there and everybody who's tuning in, thanks a lot. If you haven't done so, hit those follow buttons. Twitch, Mixer, YouTube. All our VODs are stored over there. Follow the Facebook. Turn on notifications so you know when we go live. I'm Nathan Garrett coming at you from ZCL. As always, right on.